I like to distinguish between literalism and fundamentalism. Literalism, let's talk within Christianity for the moment. A literalist would somebody who takes everything in the Bible that could be taken literally. Sometimes a literalist takes, I take everything in the Bible literally. No. Jesus is the Lamb of God does not mean that Mary had a little lamb. We know that, you know. And it's you can always tease a literalist, but basically a literalist means anything that could be taken literally. You know, we recognize metaphors, but anything that could be taken literally must be taken literally. So, for example, the story of Emmaus must be taken literally. It could be taken literally, therefore it must. I distinguish a literalist from a fundamentalist in that a fundamentalist says, and if you don't take it literally, you're not a Christian. And if you say it shouldn't be taken literally, you're an anti-Christian. So, instead of the possibility of saying, well, you could take Emmaus literally, and it means share God's food with the stranger, or you could take it metaphorically, and it means share God's food with the stranger. So actually the meaning comes out exactly the same. The fundamentalists would say if you don't take it literally, you're not a Christian, and suggesting that it could be taken metaphorically makes you an anti-Christian. Now the trouble with that is that there's a sort of a growth between what I call ideological fundamentalism, rhetorical fundamentalism, and physical fundamentalism. It is that if I believe that what you are saying is not only wrong, but against the will of God, I can easily start talking about, well, people who oppose God, you know, don't have any right to exist. And people who do evil have no right to exist. Now, I mightn't have the power to do anything about it, but supposing I then escalate my ideology is that anyone basically who opposes the way I interpret, say, the Christian New Testament literally, is anti-God. Then rhetorically, I can start asking questions. What should you do about somebody who is promoting evil? And pretty soon we're ready for the third stage as well. Anyone who promotes evil should really be executed or assassinated or at least demolished with extreme prejudice. So there's a genocidal germ in fundamentalism that I alone have the truth. And if I'm in a room with 50 people and I alone have the truth, if they were all dead, I alone would have the truth in that room. So if we kill all the people who disagree with us, we alone will have the truth. So there is a sort of a temptation, a seduction within fundamentalism. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, who is a fundamentalist. I'm defining it, whoever thinks like this is a fundamentalist. Even if you say, I would never do that, I would never kill somebody. No, but by talking about them as evil, as anti-Christian, as anti-God, you're preparing the ground for somebody, if that somebody ever gets power, to do something about it. For example, in the 1920s, when Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, he talked always about the Jews and Judaism as an infection, as germs, as viruses. It was always the language of pathology. Now, he wasn't saying go out and kill them, but wait a minute, what do we do with germs? What do we do with viruses? We try to get rid of them. So somebody who's getting used to that language will eventually draw the conclusion, if they get power, well, shouldn't we get rid of them? Now, how you get rid of them will be the next question. Do you deport them? Do you kill them? But you have to take responsibility. And every religion today must take responsibility for its own fundamentalism. Because religious fundamentalism is probably the most dangerous thing in the world at the moment. Christians say are Muslim. I'm not making any distinction. If I believe that most of the world is evil and that God is going to destroy that world and I'm going to go off to heaven, let us say, then there might be nothing to stop me deciding to speed up the process a bit, that God seems to be going very slowly at this thing. And if I have the power to create an atomic war, or even a biological or a chemical disaster, well, maybe that's the will of God.